listening to Nasty Knuckles, the Hockey Outlaws podcast, with your hosts, Derek Nasty Settlemyre and former Philadelphia Flyer enforcer, Riley Cote, as they go behind the scenes with your favorite NHL players. Time to face off.
All right, welcome back. What's happening, Nasty?
What's up, Rick Aurelia? Just trying to figure out what's going on around here, buddy. What are you saying?
I'm trying to figure it out as well. Still scratching my head.
Yeah, we're
from, free agency yesterday.
Yeah,
specifically the Flyers.
The frenzy,
or the lack thereof.
The lack thereof probably is a better way of putting it. But yeah, I hate to be a negative guy. I'm not being negative. I'm just being honest. But that was an epic fail, in my opinion. When you have an all-star, literally been an all-star basically his whole career.
Over 100 points.
115 points or something, telling you he wants to be here. You got to find a way to make it work. He's had a long time to straighten this
I agree.
cap out, and I'm not a GM. I don't know the first thing about caps and how you can do it, but you've had enough time, and I just feel like it's kind of a letdown.
A huge letdown. I mean, the number one guy in free agency.
Wants to come here.
A Philly area guy. Replace G's points and some. You know, that offensive punch that we're looking for. To me, it would be the catalyst to start making change around here.
Yeah.
And,
I agree.
Yeah, like you're saying, you failed to free up space. Failed to... I think even come close, really. I mean,
yeah,
by the sounds of the comments he's making, almost ignoring the fact that they were trying to pursue him.
They were definitely trying to. We know that.
We know for sure they were trying to pursue him. But like you said, you had plenty of time. I mean, you could say in January, but I mean, he's been at the helm since 2018, knowing that you have certain salaries you got to move, get rid of, whatever you got to do to free up space, so you're not in a jam like this.
Right. Yeah, and we'll get into it, but I love signing of Tony.
Yeah,
I think it's a great signing. Hopefully him and I'm imagining Provy and him being paired together. I would think. I think that'd be really good. But your priority was probably Johnny, knowing. You can't say you didn't know that he wanted to come here.
100%.
And
then it goes on to the question of, you're spending $5 million for 2 years on D'Angelo.
Yep.
What does that mean for Ellis? Is there something we don't know? Because does that slot him in at a 1-2?
Right.
$5 million for a 5-6 don't make a whole lot of sense. So it's almost like some bit of a wash. We don't know. But, I mean, it sounds like they're preparing for Ellis not to come back,
which is probably good that they are preparing for that
100%.
Because it doesn't look like he's going to. And we don't know that, but everything seems to point that way.
Right.
Maybe not though. Maybe not.
I would love for Ellis to come back and deal with that problem.
Yeah, that would be exactly.
Then your back end, I would say, I'm not going to say overly stacked, but that's a huge improvement.
That's a big time improvement.
Because then you add Braun.
Yes.
Yesterday in free agency.
And I do like that signing.
And I like that signing. Yeah, 100%. He's a very reliable guy.
Yeah, you know what you're getting with Bronner.
But those two guys, I think improves the defense core. That's without Ellis.
Right.
But zero help up front.
We need to score goals.
You need to score goals. You're going to play away from the net a little bit more with the upgraded defense, but you lose Giroux, and you haven't replaced those points.
No.
So I'm not sure what this is going to look like. In the long haul here, but he signed Nick Deslauriers. Love the guy.
Yes.
And when they signed him, in the back of my head, I'm like thinking, you'd sign arguably the toughest guy available in free agency, for almost $2 million a year for 4 years.
It's a lot. To
protect Johnny Gaudreau. I was in the back of my mind thinking, okay, well, they're definitely signing him or finding a way to sign him.
Yes.
That didn't happen when you seen him sign in Columbus, which was, selfishly, I'm like, go to a bigger market and make a splash. But, it's not about me, obviously. And it's about him and his family. And he can lay in the weeds and perform and be with his buddy, Eric Robinson, there and help build that team out. But to sign Nick Deslauriers, and I love the guy. I'd love to get him on here because he's tough as nails.
Yep.
Flyer fans will absolutely love this guy.
Yep.
Skates well, bangs, fights anybody, gamer. I mean, he reminds me a lot of myself, like fight anybody, anytime, all day.
Right.
But you had Zach McEwen that you still have to sign or
Yep.
maybe let go. I'm not sure how that's going to play out.
Well,
But
I hope they don't get rid of Zach.
I agree. But if they're not going to score goals, maybe they got to bang some bodies and generate some entertainment for the fans because you can't go down without swinging. You know what I mean? And having Tortorella behind the bench
that helps. That's definitely a plus.
That's a plus. There's definitely some more emotion.
Yeah.
D'Angelo's an emotional guy too, right?
I love his compete level.
Yeah, he competes. He sticks up for his teammates.
He does.
But at the end of the day, we're talking about goals and winning games.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they've advanced at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to look at it, and it's not just you look everywhere. I mean, it's bad right now. Like media, fans, like everyone's losing their mind because you feel like going into this, we were told back in January an aggressive retool.
Yeah.
This is far from an aggressive retool. Again,
I'm not even sure if it's a retool. It's a standard free agency.
Yeah,
right?
it was very standard, really. With the exception of D'Angelo.
I agree.
I think you really added a solid piece with him, and everyone can admit to that. But it's not good, the messages on all social media, and maybe they don't care, but you probably should care a little bit about your fan base, which is unfortunately fallen a lot. And with yesterday, Charlie O'Connor, asked Chuck about, sitting there in January talking about an aggressive retool and asked him, how could you tell the fans that this is an aggressive retool? It's not.
No, it's
not
definitely
at all.
Not.
And you brought up the point of 2018, but I mean, even if you just go to January this year, you knew the team was done.
Of course.
Again, I wouldn't know the first place to begin with all of that, but that's why they're paid a lot of money to do that in the front office. And
you start by just shopping guys around and trying to unload some money before the actual
way before now.
Yeah, right.
And
start there.
And we know enough people that know that they were talking.
For sure.
I mean, that's not
for sure.
Yeah. So.
And then who's the face of the team? It's like, again, Giroux's been the face of the team forever. You get rid of him. It's like you replace him with some fresh, some freshness, right? I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be Johnny Gaudreau. That would have been optimal.
Yeah.
But is Tony D'Angelo the face of the Flyers? I mean, is it Coots? Is it Carter Hart? I'm not really sure. Or is it John Tortorella? I mean, it's who is the face? And
Torts is awesome. Torts is going to make a difference for sure.
I agree.
He's going to make a difference for sure. But you don't really want your coach to be the face of the franchise. We saw what happened in Toronto.
Oh yeah,
it
gets
that,
ugly, especially when you start losing games.
And how I feel about Torts, and I know you feel the same way. I love him, and that was a great move. We all agree on that. He's gonna have his hands full.
You're only as good as the horses you have, and I'm not sure the Flyers are really upgraded. I think it's some bit of a wash. I mean, again, Braun comes back. D'Angelo, I think the back end is upgraded a little bit,
right? Yeah.
But on the other side of it, the forwards are not, right? I mean, we've lost G and haven't replaced those points. You lose Oscar. I mean, I know he didn't exactly have the greatest year, but you know what you're going to get from him. He's consistent. You unload that salary.
I feel like with Oscar, my only thing with Oscar, and again, I'm an equipment manager, but I feel like when he came back, it's going to take time to recover from everything he went through. And they know what he went through.
Right.
But you also got to play Oscar in a place that he should be playing, not on the fourth line.
100%.
I mean, he's not a fourth line player.
No.
But again, that's above my pay grade.
Yeah.
That's the only thing
they open up that money. They have to move that money to free up that money for Deslauriers.
Yeah.
I guess, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but again, up front, I think they're going to struggle to score goals.
Well, the other thing that worries me a little bit is, like, I'm glad Coots is coming back, but do we know how he's doing? Is his back? It's a back injury,
right?
And God bless him. I hope he's 100%.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, obviously, I love Coots, and he's a hell of a player.
Yeah.
But it is kind of a risk. You still don't know. I mean, he didn't play all year, basically. So hopefully Coots is okay.
100%.
That's definitely going to help getting him back.
Yes, no doubt.
Obviously, you got to worry about Farabee with this neck thing. Again, Ellis, she brought that up.
Yeah.
It's just, the up front, I just think everyone was so excited about being told, hey, we're aggressively going to make this happen, and you've got this guy sitting here that is, as Happy Gilmore would say, it's a tap-in. Just tap it in.
Turned down $10 million in Calgary in an environment he knows and loves.
Yeah.
To potentially come back to his hometown.
And we know from certain people, like, they weren't even on the radar.
Yeah.
They weren't even on the radar.
No.
And
got no money.
That's
no deal.
So I think it's disappointing, obviously, for everyone. And probably the Flyers are disappointed too, I would imagine. But they're taking a lot of heat right now. I mean, when you go out on a limb and you get up in front of everyone and tell them how aggressive you're going to be, this isn't the most aggressive.
No, definitely not. And now I think they're just banking on everyone being 100% healthy. Because, like, to your point on Coots, maybe getting Ellis back would be absolute gravy, and Farabee and these guys coming back healthy and staying healthy.
And Hazy, too.
And Hazy, staying healthy. Because, part of the issue last year, I mean, a good part of it was how banged up they were. So if they can stay healthy, those goals, that performances in the lineup consistently, they are a better team.
Yes.
I mean, they definitely are, but they haven't obviously added any firepower up front to replace G's points. And
right.
We will see, but
there is time still too.
For
as
sure.
Well,
sure.
I mean, you never know.
I'm not sure they have any money. I mean, they have to make some moves.
But you have to make moves, exactly.
So you have to move something to get something. But as it stands right now, I'm not sure how much. From what I understand, I think they're tapped out.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I think it's so disappointing because as fans of the game, like we are, and you played, and I worked forever. But being a fan, this is one of the best days. Deadline day, right. And then free agency. I think everyone's so worked up about it, and then it's like getting stabbed in the heart. Because you're like, we're getting Johnny. We are getting this guy. We're going to do something, make sure we get him. And, I read a bunch of stuff yesterday, and I talked to some people who work, at ESPN and other places, and they're like, how are you going to get people in the seats? What are you going to tell them? Because let's be honest about it, the attendance, and I don't usually say shit about that, but it was bad.
Right.
And, I mean, again, Torts is going to help.
Well, that's what I was saying about the face of the Flyers, right? I mean, again, like going back to, keep going back to Johnny, is like that is the catalyst for winning games and bringing people to the stadium, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it generates so much excitement. I don't even know the guy, you know what I mean? And I was pumped, you know what I mean? And it was just like the energy behind it, just the skill level and the love for the game, and it's all this, the intangibles you talk about when you're a fan or you're a coach, right? I mean, he just brings it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, unless they just, as a team, come out with this new identity, this new work ethic, stay healthy and start winning games.
Yeah.
And that's the only thing that's going to bring people back into the building. You start winning games, and then
we hope
cultivate this new identity, and hopefully the city rallies around you and your efforts, and as slowly but surely the people start coming back and start believing in you, because right now they've lost the culture and they've lost the essence, right?
Yes.
And that's important to build right out of the gate.
A big start to the season is necessary.
It's necessary.
You need to start the season off well. And again, with Torts, they are going to compete.
Yep.
It's going to be a different team on the ice for sure. He definitely will bring that. You're never going to. He could have the worst team in the league, and you're not going to get a team that doesn't try their hardest.
Right.
We know that.
That's the truth.
It's a lot like the first year when Homer took over from Mr. Clark. He was the interim GM, and I know we talked about that with Homer last week. But he created cap space to make those moves and to be able to have those moves. He made some trades during the season and around the deadline and brought. talked about this. Braden Coburn and Marty Biron, and created some space. But you're gonna have to have a good start to the season.
Yeah, no doubt. That is the truth.
Because everyone right now is just wild.
Yeah, just scratching their head.
Yeah.
Throwing shit at the TV, and throwing their phones out.
My phone didn't stop. I cut it off yesterday. I had to turn the ringer off because I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm not in there. I don't work there anymore. But I just, it's a disappointing day.
Yeah. And the only thing that, to all of our points here, the only thing that's going to cure this is to win games.
Yep. 100%.
Find identity, work your ass off, and then hopefully cultivate that relationship with the fans, and they'll come back to the building. They'll rally around you because it's all about wins, right? It's always about performance and wins. And once you start winning, the city will rally around and support you. But switching topics just a little bit, Flyers added a pretty tough coach behind the bench.
Yes,
right?
Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky Thompson.
Man,
what a beauty.
Yeah, man, I can't wait to see him. I told a story when we had Frankie on. When we played, he played in St. John.
Oh, right.
For the Flames, way back in '98, we played them in the finals. What a team they had! They had Martin St. Louis. Remember Dennis Gauthier? He played for the Flyers for Big Goats, and a bunch of Jimmy Dowd, John Card was on that team.
Right,
Who's the goalie baller? Sorry, who's the goalie in Jiggy?
Giguère? JS?
Yeah, they had JS Giguère, who won the cup with they had a really good team, but Rocky came to the door. I'll make it short. He came to our locker room, knocked on the door. Everyone had gone, and I'm sharpening skates, and I opened it up, and I knew who he was. He had the hair, down his face, kind of like Riggs, kind of like you. And he's just like, "Hey, is the animal here?" And I'm like, "Oh no, he left." And he goes, "Could you ask him if it's okay if we go tonight?" And I'm like, yeah, I'll ask him. I'm like, holy shit, this guy's coming down here to ask on a American Hockey League finals. We're in the finals, Calder Cup finals,
that's amazing.
And I just, man, what a warrior he was, man. I was so happy when I found out he was a coach. I just loved the way he played, man.
Oh,
he brought it.
Legendary, man.
And he was with Tomer, the other Tomer, Brent Thompson.
Right. Brent Thompson.
They played in the Panthers system in Louisville. I don't know if you knew there was a team in Louisville, Kentucky.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rocky Thompson behind the bench. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, no, I was pumped to see that. When I turned 16 and moved away from home playing the Western Hockey League, he had just left the Western League, but he was legendary. It was like Rocky Thompson, the toughest, and seeing him in the American League and work his way up to the NHL. I mean, absolute gamer, toe to toe, like old school brawler.
Toe to toe for sure.
And then evolves into a coach, which from what I understand is very, very well respected.
Yeah,
started in the American League and worked his way up to the NHL. Working the power play, which is interesting.
Wow.
Right? And then, we saw something on social media today about him almost fighting Evander Kane in a power play meeting.
Oh, boy.
And I'm sure, from what I understand, Rocky Thompson's calmed down and his demeanor is meek and mild now.
Sure.
But it was probably more Evander Kane flexing. Sounds like he had no shirt on and whatever else getting in his face. But I would have liked to have seen that, but happy to have some spirit. That does extend into the locker room. Having a guy like that around, a very well respected human, as well as a player. So
good person.
Happy to see that.
I don't know if you remember. I don't know if it was his first fight when he got called up to Calgary, but there's a fight. I can't remember who he's fighting, but we'll have to Ball or Debo pull it up. But he gets in a fight and it's a good scrap, and he ends up going. Whoa! He's like, his hair is everywhere. He just looks like he looks like an animal.
Absolutely.
More than Frankie almost.
No kidding.
But it's one of the coolest clips I've ever seen. But I'm excited for him, man. That's great.
Yeah, no doubt. And then shifting gears once again, other free agent moves. G.
Yes, Claude.
Signing back in his hometown area of
Ottawa. I would have given him shit, I think, for going there. I know it's his home, so it's hard. But they did make some moves. Yeah, right. And they might, I don't want to say they're better than anyone, but I mean, they picked up the Brinket.
Right.
He
might score 50 with G.
With G. Sorry, boys. Sorry, where were you with that rang? Sorry.
I said the Brinket might score 50 with G.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that guy can score.
Oh, and the way G passes.
On the ice, yeah.
For sure. I mean, it I don't know. I have to really look at their whole line. I'm not going to say they're going to sit here and make the playoffs or anything, but They are better. And they got
100%.
signed Cam Talbot as well.
Yeah. But I think for G, just going back home, towards the end of his career, still making $6.5 million for 3 years. I mean,
I don't think he needs money.
Definitely not. But go back home, be around your family, enjoy it while it lasts.
Yep.
And maybe help build the Ottawa Senators out a you
could see G end up being in the front office there or something.
Oh, 100%.
He's from there. Like I could see that happening. He's a very smart guy.
Or when Danny B takes over from the Flyers,
that would be nice. He comes
back, and the French French connection coming together. Yeah,
that would be nice.
No doubt. Who knows? But speculation, obviously. But happy for G.
Happy for him. Yeah,
we didn't think he was gonna go back to Florida.
Spoke to him yesterday. So he was pretty pumped. Yeah,
beautiful.
Loved this. He was right there, so he had a press conference and everything yesterday, and he had Big Gav with him with his Ottawa jersey and his hat.
Super cool.
It's really cute, man. So
I love that. And then, Penguins found a way to keep Malkin around.
They kept their guys, they kept them all.
Yeah.
Letang, and you ain't got to worry about Sid.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere.
But you know what? I was happy they kept Malkin. Because I just feel like, like we always say, like grass is greener, but like where are you going to go if you're Gino?
Yeah.
You're playing with some. I don't care. Sid, till he quits, is going to be one of the best players in the world, or is 100%, the best player in the world.
No doubt.
So I was kind of happy he stayed. I mean, you got Jeff there for 2 more. I think he signed for 2 more years too. So they proved, in the playoffs. Like I thought they were going to win that series. I mean, thinking and them doing it's 2 things, but.
I had him going the distance, remember?
Yeah, you did. You lost.
Way off.
You lost. You did worse than me.
Yeah,
I think you did worse than me. But
but I like it too. I feel the same way. I mean, you got to explore different environments, but you know what you're going to get in Pitt, right? I mean, you've been there for so long. You got the fan base. You got Sid. You got Karts. You got some other pieces there. I mean. Like why go anywhere else into an unknown territory at that point in your career, right?
Unless it's Colorado,
right? Yeah,
unless they're offering. I mean, I might go there, but no. But you're right. And they're treated well there. Their facilities are beautiful. Their practice facility, their game rinks, unbelievable. So I was kind of happy he stayed there, and I'm not even a Penguins fan, but I just was kind of happy he stayed.
Yeah. Feel the same way.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I did think he was maybe going to go to Washington.
Yeah.
With some other Russians.
Yeah.
Sure. But no, he stayed home.
No, for sure. I'm sure the Flyer fans are hating all over it, but that's just part of it. And then Krejci signing in Boston 1 year.
1 year.
Coming out of retirement.
Yeah.
I like that.
He must have needed just to give his body a rest, like.
Probably.
That guy
plays hard, man.
He does play hard. That's a great sign. I like that. I'm glad he ain't gonna hurt you. That's for sure.
No, I don't think so. I think he's only gonna add value and help Monty there.
Yeah, I was gonna say our good buddy Jimmy Montgomery. So happy for him.
Yeah.
They're gonna love him. The staff, like he's just he's a funny guy, man. He's intense, but he makes it fun. Which you need to kind of do. So
yeah, absolutely.
Happy for them.
Yeah, I know. It was nice to see him get another kick at it as the head coach. So I think they'll be all right with that addition. And we almost forgot our boy Nick Obey-Kubel, Stanley Cup champ.
Ice Cube. Ice Cube in Toronto, man. Yeah, I know. I was happy for him. Good for him because they got a good team.
Yeah, no doubt.
They're right there, Toronto. We talked about this before, but good for him, man. And he's got his cup now too, but they got a good team.
Yeah,
interesting to see where he fits in there, and I'm imagining, not that he is a 4th line player, but they're pretty stacked there, But even if he is, he accepts his role no matter what it is.
That's exactly it. Yeah, he has accepted that role, and I think he's a guy that a utility guy. He can work up and down the line and compliment guys.
Reminds me of Raffle a lot.
Yeah, because he's strong, shoots the puck, and if he just stays focused and stays in his lane there a little bit, I mean, he can play. So I think he's finding his groove there in Toronto. But obviously, coming off a Stanley Cup certainly helps his value and his confidence in the whole bit. We're actually trying to get him on today.
Yeah.
We got caught in the middle of some travel, so we'll get him on next week, talk about his Stanley Cup experience there and his time in Colorado. But happy for him, Winners sign contracts. Winners move on. And,
that's right.
And teams want them. So wish him the best there in TO.
For sure. And I think we may have said this last week, but he was late.
Yeah, he was
for the
late.
team
Yes,
picture.
he was.
You know,
of course he was.
French Mike, he was always late for French Mike, and he got
lollygag in the corner with the Stanley Cup.
Where are
doing,
you with
dude?
that thing?
Yeah,
where
right?
did he go?
Like, where could he have been? Where 40 people were lined up for a picture, and he comes in.
I can't wait to ask him, where the hell were you? But also, one quick shout out to our boy Nick Cousins, too. He signed in Florida.
Cuz, yeah,
Cuzzy.
absolutely. Yeah,
love Cuzzy, man. Love Cuzzy.
Wish him the best.
Yep.
Little prick.
Yeah.
Gets under people's skin. I love his game. So.
Yep.
So we got a couple of awesome guests coming up next week, Nast. Hey?
Yes. Johnny Stevens, Tony D'Angelo, and Cube, as we just said.
Cube, yeah, absolutely. Be nice to get them on.
Yes.
I hadn't seen Johnny for a while. I saw him at the Flyers alumni golf tournament a couple weeks ago. It's nice to reconnect with him. And then since then, he's signed as an assistant coach there in Vegas. So new venture, but picking his brain. He was one of my number one supporters and fans. Love Johnny to death. Tony, don't know Tony, but new Flyer. This is his neck of the woods. You know him a little bit. Happy to have him on. Obviously, some new blood, Flyer land, and then Cube, obviously.
Yep. Stanley
Cup, and just talk about his experiences with that, and playing under Coach Jared Bednar there, and just the environment in Colorado, what that was like compared to his experience here in Philly, and. Lots of good stuff down the pipe. We got a ball hockey tournament we're still working on the details for.
Yep.
Looking at middle of October, so
it's not too hot then. You'll be quicker.
Yeah,
you'll be quicker this year.
It was way too hot last year. I almost died. I think my hamstring is still recovering from last year.
Here we go again.
Dude, that was
Debo said you look slow out there.
I was slow, dude. You watched me play, dude?
Oh, man. No, you weren't slow. But thanks, everyone. Can't wait for next week. Some really good guests and some more coming up after that we have. But if you're enjoying our content, guys, please like and subscribe on our YouTube channel and follow us on Spotify and Apple.
We appreciate you. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, fellas.